Well, kind of a depressing day in a way. We knew there was a windstorm coming, and I moved the vehicles out of the normal parking spot last night in case a tree falls over there. And man, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock. All of a sudden, I heard it was windier than I've ever heard it here. We went outside. I think I peeked outside around 4 o'clock, and first thing I looked at was see which trees are down. So these two big trees right here, I left because I like to have big trees around. Well, thankfully, they didn't fall that way because that barn could have almost been completely destroyed if it had fallen. But they fell this way. They missed the pump, they missed the hydrant, but it did hit the trailer. Look there, the foam trailer. It's got 3 holes in it, it's dinged in it. We'll have to deal with that. I went out to the greenhouse. I thought the greenhouse was completely gonna blow away. It was, I have it anchored down very well, but you know, wind gusts of over 70 miles an hour, that's almost hurricane force, and stuff just blew down. If you look over here, I had one of the biggest trees. It was right here. Landed out this way. And if you look back behind us there by the greenhouse, those trees are even further down. But if you come this way, it's just pretty much mayhem. I was out here probably 30-40 minutes before daylight with a headlight. I got the driveway cut so we can get in and out. As you can see, most of this is going to be firewood. We chopped them up. The boys have been hauling the wood, stacking it. It'll be dry by next year. And if we walk back over here to the other end of the property, there's some massive trees that went down. So when we originally bought the property and started clearing trees, a lot of times, you know, you leave 15-20% more trees than what you want. Well, because of wind, well, we've lost those and then some. But check out that big fir right there. That's a good 20+ inches at the base. There's another one there, back there. There's a couple there, some more over in there. And then, unfortunately, a lot of the trees that I left to block the view from the road, there's 2 massive trees that went down and took a bunch of smaller ones with them when they went down. So now people can kind of see in here. But it's not all wasted. I have a sawmill, and the trees that have went down, I think there's one section of our land that I haven't even walked through this morning. I did see that there was like 3 that were over there that are no longer there. I don't know that I remember. But with all this wood, it's green. This is the premium building wood in our area, and this is gonna be more than enough for what we want to do as far as adding the patio, a covered patio with beamwork and the shiplap ceiling. It's gonna be more than enough for what we need for that. We're just gonna have to cut it, let it dry. Hopefully this wind will stop. We had a bunch of damage on the roof too. A bunch of the shingles blew off on the ridge cap. Right where the wind came over, it kind of created a funnel, and there's a bunch of the ridge cap blew off. But we've been at it. I'm kind of tired. I'm actually going to head to Kalispell and get a bigger generator. Something that is I've found one on Marketplace that is going to work better than what we have, that we can maybe run the dishwasher, the water heater, and the kitchen stove with it. It's been for sale for quite a while, and I was debating about getting it. I need to make a run to Kalispell anyway to get supplies for doing spray foam. But yeah, this is kind of what we've been doing. It was not what we had planned on doing today. Lot of wood. Here we have a nice fir tree that we left, and it's now leaning pretty bad. Pretty much like most of the big trees on this property. Most of the trees, we're kind of on a bench right here. There's a drop off over there, maybe 20, 30 feet. Almost all the big trees are leaned that way, just like that one is. And let's go back here and take a look at this one, because this one is just a beauty of a tree. I mean, this guy is 26 inches at the base. It's a nice, big, beautiful fir, nice and straight. I think this tree I'm going to use for the header on the porch. There's going to be upright posts, and then I need some nice big material for headers. This will be a perfect tree for that. This was one of the prized trees that we left. I love big, mature trees. This is a really nice straight fir. This thing is 26 inches at the base. We had a birdhouse on here. This is a nice straight tree, but it is absolutely not going to go to waste. Up on the other end is going to be some firewood. But when we build the covered patio, we're going to have probably 6x6 posts upright. And then we're going to have probably 4x6s, 4x7s coming out from the house. And then on top of these 6x6 posts, we need a header. That's going to be about 6 inches wide, maybe 10 inches tall. And this is premium material for that. That's going to be load bearing. So if you look at it, the house there, we're going to come out with a covered patio. And then we need a full length header that goes all the way along like a load bearing. And we're going to cut this tree up, mill it, and use it for that. It would be long enough to make it out of one piece. Unfortunately, I can only cut 21 feet with my sawmill. Not quite sure. I may have to cut it into 16 foot or 20 foot posts. They're going to be 8 foot apart. So unfortunately it's going to have to be chopped up into shorter and then spliced back together once it's been milled. That would be phenomenal if I could. There is a guy in Bonner's Ferry that cuts beams up to 44 foot long. But it would cost a lot of money to haul it over there. Yeah, beauty of a tree. Sad to see it go. Check this out. I mean, this thing, it dug up a lot of stuff, rocks and everything. Always makes me sad to see a tree like this go down, because this thing is probably twice as old as I am. Well, let's walk out and take a look at the driveway. You'll see all these stumps right here. There's like 3, 4, 5 trees this way. There's a couple that were angled this way. There's a cluster right here that was completely over the driveway. Here we've got just a bunch of trees that went, a couple big ones that went down and took a bunch of little ones down with it. Yeah, it's just a mess. We've got some trees that the moss hit. I think that tree may have hit the line. Some of the moss hung up. We've got a bunch more over there. I got one cut up already, a couple more on our property that just, very fortunately, that did not hit the power line. I think I should take that tree down because it's leaning towards the power line. If that one would have went down, I may have to talk to the power company about maybe, I don't know if they would do that free of charge to take that one down, just as a preventative. The other ones are pretty straight. Man, check it out. There's a big old fir tree right there that took the power line down, and there's a couple more up there that took it down. When I came out at 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning, and then even at daylight, that was not down that I can remember. I'm pretty sure this is This is probably shut off, but I'm not going to find out. So we don't know how long we'll be out of power. We were out 3.5, 4 days last time. And it was a lot windier this time than it was last time, and the wind came from a slightly different direction. Last time a lot of it came from the south, the southeast, no, south-southwest. And this time it came from the northwest, westerly northwest. We have trees that are laid, you know, southeast, so the wind came from the northwest. Yeah, I did not see this